Hello and welcome to our sixth episode, I believe, of the Rule of Two show here on the C Cinema Reviews channel. Of course, I am back, and with me, as per usual.
Hello, is my sister, is what usually
Yeah,
should
my sister.
have been said.
I don't care right now, so
Alrighty.
we're going to be doing 3 topics today, and of course, this is a Star Wars show here, so if you didn't know that, well, clearly you haven't been listening, so it's okay. You can listen from now on. Anyways, yep, we have done 5 other episodes. They've gone by pretty cool as this motorcycle rides by our house and is very loud. Anyway, we usually do 3 topics here. Sometimes 2 if it's a slow week, but this week we got some cool stuff to talk about. Our first topic is Frank Oz and his interview the way he talks about Yoda coming back for episode 8. And then our second topic, which is the juicy topic, is the Thrawn Alliances excerpt. This is the Timothy Zahn. He is writing a second canon Thrawn book, and it's pretty good. We'll get into that. And our third topic will be Lord and Miller are getting an executive producer credit on Solo.
So yeah, we stretched. There's not a lot to talk about this week, but it's okay.
Well, that Thrawn Alliance, I can't wait to get into the Thrawn Alliances. Anyway, before we do that, we have to get into Frank Oz. And Frank Oz, he's obviously back for Yoda, which is great. And it's not only that
we should probably say that he played the original.
Yeah, he played the original Yoda in both The Empire Strikes Back.
Was he the puppeteer? Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was one of the puppeteers. There's
there
4.
Was 4, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But when Rian Johnson told him about Yoda coming back, he thought that it was going to be CG. And I'm super glad because you guys, I'm not a prequelist. Do not like him. CG Yoda is not better than puppet Yoda. And it with the way he talks about it in the interview, he says that Yoda would appear to Luke the same way that he last saw him, which was puppet Yoda. Like the last time Luke saw him, at least we've seen him, and we've seen that Luke saw him, was puppet Yoda back in Return of the Jedi. So it would make sense that he would be puppet Yoda coming back to him as a Force ghost again rather than CG Yoda. And it works so well. Mm-hmm. So well.
I like that he's back again because I like when they bring back, I love nostalgia. Mm-hmm. I think it's great. So I'm glad that they brought him back and then that they didn't just use some dude who was, good at an impression.
Right.
That would have been a little
And yeah, and Frank Oz was there. He is doing work, but still, nobody's gonna turn down Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you want to come back? No, I'm doing some stuff. It's no, you're gonna come back for It's Star Wars, especially when you're Yoda and they want you to play Yoda again. It's
especially since I feel like everyone who was in the prequels and the originals, it's not like their career is going amazingly right now. Maybe Natalie Portman. She'd probably be the only one to be no, I'm not coming back.
Yeah, well.
But everybody else, Ewan McGregor, he's doing pretty good. But he's already said multiple times he would come back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well.
But I'm glad he's back, and the way that he talked about Yoda in the interview was really
you could
nice.
Totally tell that he loves the character.
Yeah.
It's not... And
how important it was, when he was saying it would take, we go over every single word, the puppeteers and me, and we just, really work on everything.
All the time, Because,
which is really cool to hear.
Because you got to get it to look right. If the character looks like he's not saying the word that is being said, then that's what they're doing wrong. And these dudes are absolutely professionals, and so they want to make it look right, and so it takes a lot of time and practice.
And I believe it's in the documentary that you get a little bit of when Mark Hamill and him are there together, and they both sort of, or Mark Hamill at least, gets a little choked up.
Oh, I would too.
He was like, it's like going right back to the beginning. Yeah, or so the end of what he thought,
Right, yeah.
For him, it was going to be. So.
Of course.
It's cool.
No, yeah, and then he talked a little bit about the potential for Yoda coming back. It's kind of crazy because he had to keep this secret of Yoda being in the movie for so long, because apparently he had been talked, Rian Johnson had talked to him about it like years, maybe back when he was writing the thing. So like having to keep that secret, you don't kind of have to keep that secret anymore, because we've already seen Yoda in this new trilogy, and so if he comes back, it's not as big of a deal as like the first time. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, now he could talk about, J.J. Abrams maybe putting him in Episode 9 and possibly having a future with Rey. And it would be cool to see how Rey would interact with a Force ghost. I can't wait for that. I know Luke's going to be a Force ghost and she's going to interact with him. But it'd be cool to see if, like, how she would react to a Force ghost that she had never seen before. Like she's seen Luke before, so she might be a little bit more comfortable with seeing that. But you see this little green guy or blue guy now. You see this little blue guy now, and he's like, I think it'll be really, if J.J. Abrams does have Yoda come back, it'd be really cool to see what that interaction between him, her, and maybe any students that she's teaching.
I don't want that at all, but okay.
You don't want Yoda to talk to Rey?
No, I don't want her to have students.
Oh, okay. But do you understand my wanting for Rey to talk to Yoda and see how he would like make fun of her and
Oh, I would love that because I feel like she needs to be knocked down a couple times.
Yeah, and
anyway,
it'd be cool if they talked about the books. Like she was like, "Why do you have these?" And then he'd just be like, "I don't know." I didn't read them all that much, Yeah. But that's gonna pretty much do it. It was just a nice article on Star Wars Newsnet, and shout outs to StarWarsNewsNet.com and StarWars.com. That's where we get most of our information about these topics that we talk about. So yeah, shout outs to them. They do a really great job on those two sites. That's gonna do it. It was just a really fun interview and little article about Frank Oz, and you always like to have that. You always like to see that super fun, guy coming back and just having fun with the character again.
But on to our next topic.
The best.
Thrawn Alliances. The excerpt. Because you made a big deal out of something.
I did.
And I did not. I read the whole thing and didn't understand what the big deal was about. But please do tell what was that reaction for. This
excerpt is from Thrawn Alliances. Timothy Zahn's writing this book. Probably already written it. It's already done, probably.
Oh, yeah.
It comes out in July 14th. I believe that's the date, July 14th. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. Quote me if I'm right. But I'm super excited for this book, and StarWars.com and Star Wars itself released this excerpt from the book. Mm-hmm. And we don't know when in the book it takes place, presumably at the beginning of the book, because it's... I
don't know, get to your...
In this excerpt, we have Sheev, Palpatine, and he's, talking to Vader and Thrawn at the same time and pretty much sending them on their mission, which is going to be the bulk of the book. This thing is super... I get so excited for this book because it's Thrawn and Vader together. Yes, the first Thrawn book was amazing with Thrawn, Eli Vanto, Governor Price in there. Some Tarkin was in there too. Palpatine was also in there. But the biggest thing that I was super excited about was this planet. At the beginning of this excerpt, Palpatine is like, I felt a disturbance in the Force, and so he's sending Vader and Thrawn out to go find what the disturbance is and deal with it. So, the biggest thing that got me super excited for it was in the first Thrawn book, we found out that Thrawn had encountered Anakin Skywalker sometime during the Clone Wars. And so now Thrawn is sending them both back to Batuu. That's the name of the planet. The planet Batuu, Batuu. And apparently that is the place where Thrawn encountered Anakin Skywalker. So that's why I was super excited about that, because in that first Thrawn book, when Thrawn name drops Anakin Skywalker, and it got me super excited, because just knowing that those two characters met, and now seeing that they're gonna have to go back to that place and discover some stuff. And
at this point, because I didn't read the first book, does Thrawn, I'm reading it in comic book form.
Okay, go.
Does Thrawn know that Vader is Anakin?
There's a strong inclination, but I don't think he's like 100% sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep going with whatever you were saying.
But that was just like the super exciting thing about that. This apparently Batuu is in close to the unknown regions, which is where Thrawn is from. So I hope this is gonna be not a buddy cop, because I don't want it to be funny and stuff like that, but I hope this will be like a road trip with Thrawn and Vader, and they're both gonna try to figure each other out, gonna try to, I know Vader's gonna try to figure Thrawn out and try to get Thrawn to, say something that's like treasonous or something like that, because at this point, Vader does not like Thrawn. At least from this excerpt.
Racist?
No. It's just from this excerpt, Thrawn it's like during one of the seasons of, or maybe in between a couple of the seasons of Rebels, and so we have that the Phoenix Squadron, which is our rebels from Star Wars Rebels, they've escaped Thrawn, and so Vader don't like nobody, letting us down.
Like, yeah, but they've gotten away from Vader before.
No, I understand that, but that's Vader. Like, it's Vader.
So he can accept his own failures,
no,
but not the failures of others.
Right. He'd rather him be the one to be like, oh, shucks, I let them go, than somebody else. So Vader just doesn't like him because Vader feels like, at least it feels to me, that Vader feels like he should be the one taking care of Kanan Jarrus, because he is a Jedi, or a failed Jedi, You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so how good do you think this book is going to be based off of the excerpt?
Oh, based off of the excerpt, I feel like Timothy Zahn knows exactly what he's doing with Thrawn. But not only that, it'll be the first time Timothy Zahn has done Vader. And that's something that I'm pretty excited to see, because in all of Timothy Zahn's canon books, or Legends books, Vader's dead. At that point, when Thrawn comes back, Vader's gone.
He did do a book that was sort of just plopped right in the middle of that. I think I have read. I mean, maybe other people in the world. But Vader's still alive. It's right before they find the base on Hoth.
But is Vader a big part of that book?
No, he just sort of comes in at the end where they were like hanging out before they got to Hoth, and he sees some of the supplies, and he's like, oh, these are heavy coats. They're going to like a snow planet or something. And so, yeah. Okay,
yeah. But like that's the thing I'm super excited for, because I've read the Thrawn trilogy, and I've in the middle of reading the Thrawn duology, and Timothy Zahn, Vader's not around.
No, but he does play with the Vader bits with Lady Vader and all
yeah. Yeah, with the Nogri.
So it is a heavy influence in certain areas.
Right. I'm super excited to see these two characters literally square off, because they're both gonna try to get the upper hand on each other. Mm-hmm. Thrawn, because that's just how Thrawn is. Vader, because he just doesn't like Thrawn.
Well, it sounds good. I probably won't read it, but...
Oh, I'm gonna audible this, so you're gonna want to read it. You're gonna want to listen to it. Yeah, I'm gonna get this. It's
I've been seeing the other one at Target, the first one on like the bookshelves.
Oh.
The picture is really nice. It looks for real.
Oh, you should pick it up.
All right.
Anyway, I'm super excited about Thrawn Alliances. I hope you are. If you haven't read this excerpt, read it. You will get excited. If you've read that first Thrawn book, you'll be like extra excited. But we'll cut it short there. I don't want to Don't want to go overboard with that because it's just an excerpt. So let's get on to Lord and Miller, our executive producers on Solo. Now,
they were the original directors.
Yeah, they were the first directors of Solo that Kathleen Kennedy so graciously fired.
Yes. They were at some sort of festival, and they were quoted as saying that they came to this sort of agreement or whatever, that they were going to be executive producers, and which is fine.
They did a
but the
big
way
part
that
of it.
I mean, I wasn't there. I didn't see the footage, if there even was footage of how he said this. I believe it was Miller. So I don't know how he said it, how he, I don't know, worded this, or I know how he worded it, just like what his attitude was when he said it.
Right.
So,
but from the article, it seems like they were very cool about it.
Yeah.
Like there's no bad blood.
But
I feel like there probably just a little bit of bad blood, but from the way they, from the way this article explained it and how he spoke, at least for the quotes from this article, it was like, this is cool, this is what we came up with, we're going to be executive producers now, because they did do a lot of work on the film, whether it was what Lucasfilm wanted or not, they did a lot of the work,
Yeah.
So, and they probably influenced a lot of how it was going to go and how the story flowed and everything like that. I understand that it wasn't written by them. They may have done
Who's doing it now?
Ron Howard.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so he's taking sole director.
Yeah.
Because of whatever, the SAG or
Directors Guild.
Directors
or something
Guild,
like that.
that's what it is. Yeah, because of those rules. I really don't have much to say on this besides, like,
good for them.
When the wording, like, we came to the agreement, or, like, whatever words that they specifically used, I'm sure it was like, look, we're gonna fire you, but we're gonna keep your name on, like, this little bit because we don't want to make this seem like a big deal,
Yeah.
Save face. But
And
other than that, I don't really have any.
And the article, like, hinted that there'll probably be a few scenes here or there, maybe, like, 2 or 3. I don't know. But that would be in the movie that Lord and Miller did direct and shoot and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's fine. When you're going to fire somebody, you never want it to be, like, who's the guy who did Fantastic Four?
Josh Trank.
Yeah, that you never want it to be to the point to where it's like, these people are like, I didn't make the movie I wanted to make on Twitter or something like that. You never want that to happen. You don't really want bad blood because you're Lucasfilm. You're potentially going to have an infinite number of movies. So these guys could be perfect for a different movie that could be, that you just want to have that door that's open for you to be like, hey, I know it didn't work out on Solo, but we have this other thing, and you get free reins. Like, you don't have to work in this sandbox that is already set up by the original trilogy. It
did feel like, I don't know how they got to the point of, like, shooting the movie, though, and then all of a sudden realized, oh, we're not on the same page. It seems a little bit too, and I don't want to get the fanboys, but, like, DC for me. To be like Star Wars. I know they've had some issues.
What fanboys? We have like 8 viewers.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, those fanboys, they'll find you.
Sure.
But it felt a little too DC. Like, Gareth Edwards? Well, he was a little, there was some problems there too, but he was, more, I don't know what the word is, just more cordial, I guess, about the whole thing. And he stuck around.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not a big deal. This is not a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know how making a movie is. I don't know the first thing about making a movie, other than you say action and you roll the camera.
Slap some music behind there.
But I from the way I understand how it was going was they had the script from Kasdan, which is apparently a great script, and they were directing it, and it just seemed like that they were going off script. Now, sometimes that can work. Like, one of the greatest lines in Star Wars is, I love you, I know. That wasn't in the script. Like, that can work. But, like...
There's a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt where the first part says, I love you, and then you turn off the lights, and it says, I know. Sorry.
In the middle of my point that I was making, you bring up a glow-in-the-dark shirt. Anyway, some parts of a movie you can improvise. You can go off script and they will totally work. But the entire, like, at least from the reports, was that a lot of the time they were going off script. So I if that is the case, which, this is not confirming it. If that is the case, then I understand. Okay. But seriously, right in the middle, just a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt?
I think it's at her universe.
Oh.
Well, it's
ladies,
a good shirt.
Yeah, well, okay, whatever.
She makes some really cool stuff. Anyway, Ashley Eckstein,
okay.
Ahsoka.
Shameless product placement. Ashley, you want to support the stream?
We're not supported by that company.
We're not supported by anybody.
Yes, you're... Ourselves, we are self-supported.
We're self-supported.
No, yeah, this is fine. Lord Miller.
Off the rails. They're gonna fire us soon.
We're gonna fire ourselves.
We're gonna get Ron Howard in here, guys.
This directing team.
Anyway.
This is basically a non-story.
This is a non-story.
I felt like I expected it.
Yeah.
Them to have just like a little bit.
Oh, well.
So.
But hey, you gotta get your name on there sometime.
We won't see them at the premiere or anything.
Well, you never know.
You think so?
I think so.
There were reports that Kathleen Kennedy didn't even like the way they folded their socks.
That was no.
That is the truth.
That is not the truth.
You're
gonna have a glow-in-the-dark shirt for that too.
There are some great
Star Wars
socks. All right.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's pretty much a non-story. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. They'll get their name on, in the credits. And that'll be that.
We won't see them at the
That's fine. If we don't, doesn't matter. They're gonna watch the movie anyways.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
They're gonna be like, oh yeah, I directed that scene.
What is the difference between a producer and an executive producer?
An executive producer does a little bit more. I feel like they deserve as an executive producer.
Really? I would have thought they only deserved a producer.
No.
Okay, well,
No, executive producer, because they did so much of the work. They probably storyboarded everything. They probably did all that pre-production.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They went to Celebration.
There you have it. We're going to stop this before we really get fired. So, we want to know what you think. The biggest thing is Thrawn Alliances, because that is actually a story. Like, the Frank Oz thing is great. It's so heartwarming. It's great to have Frank back. It was great to see Yoda in Episode 8. Hope he comes back.
Spoilers. Sorry.
If the fanboys care that much about spoilers, then they should have watched it. It's coming out on DVD, you guys.
It's coming out on DVD on Tuesday, so maybe next week, definitely next week, we'll have a
oh my goodness
review of the behind the scenes.
I don't know about that.
You don't think
I got a lot of stuff to do this next week.
Okay, well, I'll have a review.
Yeah,
of it.
she can do the review of that. I really want to watch the commentary, because the director's commentary on that, and then I also really want to see the score only. I hope that's on one of the Blu-rays or something like that. Might not be, but I just want to see that. The score only version of The Last Jedi, I would love to see it. Especially when Luke's coming out like a boss. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's like the best part to me. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's going to do it. We want to know your thoughts either in the comment section down below, or get this, we've had a Facebook page for a long time and ain't got nobody on there but me. So let's populate that thing. Let's populate that thing, okay? It's facebook.com/See Cinema Reviews page. That link will be in the description, guys. And we're also on Twitter. Not even I go there. We're also on Twitter @See Cinema Reviews. I've gotten like 2 tweets, so keep them coming. So, there you go, guys. Tell us your thoughts whenever and wherever, and I'll try to respond to you. I mean, I will respond to you. You're like the only person on there. Okay. Thank you for watching this. May the Force be with you.
Always.